Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been banging your head against a wall trying to break into the tech industry, you are in exactly the right place. Today, I'm going to share the exact, and honestly sometimes uncomfortable truths that I've used to help over 50 people transition into six-figure tech roles at places like Zillow, American Express, and NatWest. We're going to break down a proven, step-by-step system so you can accomplish in just 90 days what takes most people an entire year. Let's dive right in.
So, why do most people spend 12 whole months learning to code only to find they've made absolutely zero real progress? Well, the reality in 2026 is that aspiring developers fall into this massive trap. They bounce between tutorials and build the exact same generic weather app as 1,000 other beginners. I mean, the world definitely doesn't need another way to check if it's raining, right? They're stuck in passive learning. They aren't just wasting time, they're spending an entire year building bad habits instead of hireable skills.
Section 1. The illusion of progress. To understand why this 99% failure rate exists, we've got to completely shatter the illusion of what progress actually looks like. There's a massive difference between studying and actual learning. Most people are just studying. Studying is sitting back, watching a 3-hour course, copying code line by line, and feeling incredibly productive because, hey, you're busy. It feels comfortable. Learning, on the other hand, is closing that tutorial, staring at a blank editor, and struggling through a broken piece of code for 45 minutes just to understand why it broke. Learning is inherently uncomfortable, but that discomfort, that is exactly where the foundation you need is built.
This brings us to a foundational concept of my framework: higher-order learning. Lower-order learning, like memorizing syntax or just collecting information, gives you pennies today that evaporate tomorrow. Higher-order learning, though, is messy. It's a frustrating process of constantly asking yourself why something works and how it connects to what you already know. Sure, it's slower in the moment, but it acts exactly like compound interest. It compounds exponentially over time, making literally everything you learn afterward vastly easier and faster.
If you take only one single thing away from my mentoring experience, it has to be this fundamental shift in mindset. You absolutely must stop optimizing for the sheer number of hours you study and start optimizing for the quality and depth of each hour you actually learn.
Section 2. Solving versus studying.
It's time to move from passive consumption to active problem-solving in your daily routine. You need to completely restructure your time, starting today. Right now, most beginners spend 80% of their time watching content and only 20% building. You need to instantly flip that ratio. 80% of your effort must go into building and wrestling with actual problems, with only 20% left over for consuming new information and tutorials.
But what exactly should you be building with that 80%? You need to build solutions, not toys. Seriously, forget the generic weather app. Pick a real problem tied to your personal life or your previous career. If you are an insurance agent, build an automation for that quoting process you used to absolutely hate. If you are a teacher, build a platform that solves a real classroom pain point. By doing this, you force yourself into problem-solving mode from day one because there is no tutorial for your specific problem. Plus, you build unique domain knowledge that hiring managers actually covet.
Section 3. Building true mental models.
Once you're spending your time building the right things, the next step is ensuring you store that newly acquired knowledge correctly. You have to build mental models, not just pretty color-coded notes. Think of learning to code exactly like learning to navigate a new city. If you just memorize street names, which is kind of like taking endless notes on React syntax, you're just collecting isolated facts. If someone drops you on a random corner without your notes, you are completely lost. But if you understand the city grid, knowing the river runs east-west and the neighborhoods stack north-south, you understand the relationships. You can navigate your way out of any corner. A mental model is understanding how the pieces connect, not just memorizing the individual pieces.
So how do you actually build this grid in your mind? Through the struggle of retrieval. After a learning session, open a blank file and try to recreate what you just learned purely from memory. Explain it out loud to yourself. The fast, comfortable approach lets you gloss over 50 concepts, but honestly, you'll only retain about 3. Embracing the struggle of retrieval means you might only cover 20 concepts, but you will retain all 20. The math on your progress becomes pretty obvious once you see it this way.
Section 4. Outsmarting AI in 2026.
Retaining deep knowledge is more critical now than ever before, because we are operating in a dramatically different landscape in 2026. AI tools like GitHub Copilot are already boosting developer productivity by an average of 34%. But here is the catch. This boost doesn't apply evenly at all. It's drastically widening the gap in the industry. Weak coders who just follow instructions are getting replaced, while strong engineers who actually know how to think are becoming worth 3 times their compensation.
Think about it. If your only skill is writing basic syntax or a basic for loop, you're competing directly with AI and you will lose, no question. To survive and thrive, you have to shift your focus to the human side of the equation. You absolutely must master the high-level architecture, the complex debugging, and the business problem-solving tasks that AI simply cannot do.
Specifically, hiring managers in 2026 are completely desperate for candidates who possess these 4 human skills. Number 1, system design thinking. Can you architect a solution before writing a single line of code? Number 2, debugging and root cause analysis. Can you systematically isolate a problem when production breaks? Number 3, technical communication. Can you explain your technical decisions clearly to a non-technical product manager? And number 4, business context awareness. Do you understand how the feature you're building actually creates value for the business? Master these, and you'll stop getting ghosted and start getting multiple offers.
Now, this doesn't mean we just ignore AI. The engineers who thrive use AI strategically, as a multiplier, not a crutch. My golden rule for you is this. Use AI to speed up the boilerplate code that you already deeply understand. But the moment you use AI to bypass foundational understanding, like having it write a function you couldn't write yourself, you are building your entire career on a foundation of sand. The very first real production bug will completely expose it. So automate what you know, but never skip what you don't.
Section 5, compressing your timeline.
We've covered the what and the how, but none of that matters without the when. The final piece of this blueprint is adding structure to compress your timeline. $27,000. That is the hidden cost of inefficiency. The biggest reason people fail isn't a lack of knowledge. It's a total lack of structure. They spin their wheels on the wrong things. And learning inefficiently comes with a massive hidden cost. Since an entry-level developer role pays around $70,000 to $110,000 a year, every single month you delay costs you up to $9,000. Just 3 months of unfocused tutorial watching delay leaves $27,000 of potential income sitting right there on the table.
This is exactly why the complete compound progress framework is so incredibly powerful. Step 1, solve real problems, don't just study. Step 2, build deep mental models, not surface-level notes. Step 3, master the human skills that AI can't replicate. Step 4, use AI strictly as a multiplier. And Step 5, compress your timeline with real structure, clear milestones, and expert accountability. If you combine these 5 structured steps, you are going to confidently accomplish in 90 days what takes the average person a full, frustrating year.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a challenge. When you open your code editor tonight, ask yourself a really hard truth. Are you just optimizing for the hours you study to feel productive? Or are you actually optimizing for the uncomfortable, messy, high-quality learning that builds a lasting career? Stop letting the illusion of progress steal your future in tech. Pick just one step from this framework, apply it tonight, and start moving faster than everyone else. Thanks for tuning in.